So yeah, we definitely want our students to be really excited once they enter our virtual classrooms and not totally like those students in the video. So if you want to continue.
Yes.
So what is Google Classroom? It is a learning management system where you can share announcements and communicate with your students. You can organize your class by content or by units, and you can provide and collect assignments, discussion questions, and quizzes, grade and return work, comment on that student work, track their work, what is done, what isn't, add guardians, and we'll explain that a little later, manage people such as having co-teachers, adding students, and of course those guardians as well. And you can quickly reuse your classes for next semester. So I know like me, I have tons of assignments that I did during distance learning, so I can go ahead and reuse those again, and we'll show you how to do that later on in this course. And the benefits of having Google Classroom from a student perspective, the students always have 24/7 access to all your announcements, assignments, resources, and materials. So it's really great for self-paced. And students will have media-rich assignments, links to outside resources, and other interactive components, as well as they can view and hear your teacher recordings. And it's an accessible application. They can see it through their phone, through their iPad, a laptop, a Chromebook, even on an Xbox and PlayStation 4. They're able to access Google Classroom. So Google Classroom has 4 sections. On the teacher page, we have our stream. That's just where you post any important reminders to your students. And it's a great way to communicate with your classroom. Of course, we have your classwork. That is the heart of your classroom. This is where you're going to upload all your assignments, materials, post any questions. You can even take attendance through there. And of course, you can organize, like we are always saying, organize all of your work into topics and dates. And of course, we have our people. This is where you're going to find your list of students and your co-teachers. You can add up to 20 co-teachers. I know last year when I was teaching, all of my admin were part of my class so they can see what I was doing. And you can manage your students from there, up to 1,000 students, admin and teachers. And you can view and change your class codes as well. And then the last tab that you'll see on your Google Classroom is your grades. It is a teacher view only. This is where you'll see what was submitted or what is missing from your student assignments. You can enter your grades, return assignments, comment on their work, and of course you can export their grades to the Skyward Gradebook. And students will only have stream, classwork, and people. They won't have that grading tab. And if you weren't able to already, that is our class code. If you missed it, I was just looking at the class. We have a lot of people that already registered to our class. So this is, if you haven't joined, here's our code to join our Google Classroom, our example ones that you can start getting ideas of what to do in your class.
Okay, so we'll give everybody some time. If you haven't joined, the code is there one more time. Y'all are welcome to join in, and then I'll be stopping sharing the tab just so that you can see me doing the actual Google Classroom. So give me one moment, please. I'm going to put it on. Okay, let me put it back on percent mode. That way you could see what I'm going to do off of Google Classroom. So I had to use the Chrome tab in order for you to hear the music. And I didn't know that because on my Mac, I'm able to hear the music on the regular one, but teachers need to use Chrome tab for video. Okay, can you see my screen, Chris?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. So you all are going to start off here, and I'm going to go back and forth between the presentation. So I'm actually going to have the presentation on escape mode. And awesome, I see someone on the stream made a comment, and I can see Ms. Quiroga posted a few items, and notice that they are on the stream. We're going to talk about the settings and different things that you might want to do. Sometimes we don't advise them to come out on the stream other than comments and class discussions to populate in there. So what you need to do is on your settings, change up things a bit, okay? And we're gonna go over that. I'm gonna show you the display of my classroom. And so actually we help the dean set up the Google Classrooms, and you might already have joined one of theirs. And this is kind of what it looks like, but we'll show a little bit more of how to create certain lessons and so forth, and how to use certain extensions with your Google Classroom and apps. Okay, so you can see that she posted a few things here, and I'm also going to go back into, like I was mentioning, the settings, but let's go over what Christina mentioned. People, you have your teachers. You're going to add additional teachers that might want to co-teach with you, and you can add additional students. However, with your Skyward, it populates just what's on your roster. And so the following day, it will erase anybody who the registrar hasn't set up. So please make sure with your registrar, if your student is disappearing, it's because the Skyward, the way they're registered on there with the clerk, it's not correct. So hopefully all your students will populate. We have 95 students, that's awesome. Then of course you have your grades tab that she mentioned, and you have where you can manually give students the grade as they turn it in, as you view the products, or sometimes some things will auto grade in here. Things like your Google Forms assessment and quizzes actually has asynchronization in the background, and we'll look at that as well. And so those do auto populate, but everything else you may need to manually grade. So let's take a look at the settings. And in the settings, that's where you can change your title. You may change your title to the coursework that populates. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for the kids to see 811, 3E, whatever, right? So you may rename it. And if you haven't used this extension before, it's called Emoji Joy Pixel. And I'm gonna share a list of extensions for just education all around, and then we'll narrow into the ones that are for Google Classroom in a bit. But all I did was kind of find something that relates to my class. So I'm looking for books. It copies it, but then I have to come in here and use right-click paste or use my shortcut, and there it goes. And that's how you can get your Joy Emoji Pixel in there. There's also sites, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And again, I'm going to share the links with you too. So Christina's mentioning in the chat. Christina, make sure if you need me to stop and pause, I can. I'm not going to look at the chat too much. You can man the chat for now, but if I please let me know.
Yeah, someone just asked, is student add-on automatic if registered after the first day of school?
If your registrar does have everything like plugged in that she needs to plug in, her ID, everything that's required by the system, then it will populate the next day. It usually does it around the midnight hours. So you won't see it that day, but if you see it's not appearing the next day, you need to contact your whoever does the Skyward at your schools. Okay, good, thank you for asking. Okay, so down here you have where you can, if I scroll down, you have your description and all. You can change that up. That's not going to affect anything with us. Do wait a few days though on renaming the course. We usually have to have all the kids joined, and then you can rename it. Otherwise, the kids won't really see it. So just hold off on the rename, and then rename it maybe on Monday or something. You've got your Meets link that you want to turn on, and you definitely want to turn it off when you do not have class, because your students will join after. They don't have the ability to populate a Meets, but they can do an existing one. So you really need to turn it off, or when you're not going to be on the call. You only want to turn it on just 10 minutes prior and turn it off right away. I had a call over the summer where some students were inviting random people on there. And so the principal was like, they happen to have invited me. And so that's how I found out. And I was like, okay, that, just make sure you take it off. We might take it for granted, but please make sure to take that off. Class code, I mean, you don't want to share the class code with the kids, but you can reset it. But you don't want to share that with them because it's going to remove them the next day. You don't have to worry about the grading categories just yet. That will come into play once we have like an auto sync in the background. This school year, we're probably not going to have that. Just an FYI on that, okay? Under stream, I was mentioning that you can change settings in there where students can post and comment. Students can only comment. They can't start off the discussion. Teachers only can post. You can change those settings as needed. And then right here it says to hide any notifications from classwork to coming out in your stream. So that's something I'm going to do today. It might be recommended. I think it is a good thing because sometimes the kids will do the work off of there and not really know that they have to go into classwork to open up all the files. And then they'll be a little bit lost. They will always expect it in the stream. So I kind of advise you guys to hide the classwork from appearing in there. Okay, so you see the meets right here. The kids can click on it and they're able to join the link. Teacher opens it up and it's ready for joining that day. So if you didn't know about that, if in case I have any new teachers in here, you can just click on that. We're going to talk about selecting the theme and changing the color up if you want, pertaining to the subject you teach, or you can customize it. You can upload a photo, and we'll talk about that as well. It says how do we turn off notifications from blowing up in our emails? Oh, good question. That one is actually over on the left-hand side. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a settings tab right there, and then just receive email notifications. You want to turn it off, guys. Okay. So thank you for that question. And once in a while I can look, but sometimes I just get busy with what I'm doing. Okay, so under classwork, you want to organize your topics the way the CARES, not the way the CARES, but the way the deans had set it up for you guys. And you can move your topics up and down. Once I'm done with these meets recording, I can push them down. If I feel something's very important, I can move it up. Notice that these are not under a topic. So I can go ahead and either edit in here, and I am going to move it to a topic. And I'm going to pick week 1. And then it's fine. There it's fine as well. I'm just going to see the due date and all of that. And if it's a point system that you want to use, then you would put that. If it's an ungraded, and sometimes you'll have things that you'll have ungraded because maybe you want to post a question or something like that. We'll talk about that too. You'll use an ungraded, or you want an assignment that you really don't want to grade, then you want to switch that up under points. Okay, I'm going to save it. So creating a topic is over here at the bottom part, and creating an assignment is through here. We talked earlier about reusing posts, and you can, like, let's say some of you are very anxious and you already have your conduct up. You can start off your conduct and start setting it up. And all you do is come in, and it might take a little bit to populate in my case because I have several classes, but all your classes that are created are there. So you can extract assignments and bring them, well, you're not really extracting them, you're just reposting them into your Google Classroom. So it's taking a little bit, but I promise you that it will work. Yes.
We have while you're waiting there, we have a question. Yeah. Do we create a Google Meet code daily, or can we use the same one?
You can use the same one, just make sure you turn it off. You can actually because that way they don't rejoin at any point. You can actually say, okay, I want another Google Meets code in there, and there's a little button inside the setting right underneath it that lets you kind of change up the Meets that's there. But you do want to use this Meets code that's embedded in there. Just turn it on and off. Okay, that is going to take a while. I'm not too sure why, but I can go into my class and bring out that assignment that I posted and bring it over. I can try again in a little bit. So we'll close that out. Notice now it has Meets right here too. So even from this section of the Google Classroom, the student can join the Meets. It will be the same link. So let me close that off. And Google Calendar is embedded. Let your kids know that their assignments are all posted by, for say, like dates. If they go into Google Calendar, anything you have posted will come out in here. Assignment is due, assignment is due 8/13. They will have a good look at that. You can also come and ask your parents to go to print, and they'll be able to print the weekly or the monthly calendar if you want them to, just so that they know when assignments are due. In Google Drive, you do have a folder that creates subfolders for all your students. And I'm not going to click on it right now, but that's where the work is stored. So if you ever wanted to look at the work just in your Drive, you can go back and see it through there, through a particular student. I'm going to go ahead and click on a person. Let me see here. If I come to Abraham's, I can see everything that's assigned for him to do, and I can see whether he turned it in or he didn't turn it in. This is like a quick summary view for the student. Now, talking about summary views, you also have a Guardian feature where you can connect your parents. Let me see if it'll open up right now for me. That one just has, the Guardian feature will be available, but it's not here. You will see it here where you can connect the parents, and the parents will see exactly what I just showed you, that portion that just gives them the summary, and it will show whether the student has turned in their work or if they haven't. So this is a good thing to do. And even quickly for you at a glance, if you want to go in and see if your student, what assignments he's missed, instead of going through the grades tab, you can see it through here. Especially when you have like a long list of grades, it's kind of hard to find, well, which assignment was that? So you can kind of see that in there. Okay, let's come back into classwork. So let's take a closer look at creating different files. I was mentioning that you can create a question, and you definitely want to do this for attendance, and you want to place the date. Here, today is August 18th. And so you might want to put 08/18, and you're asking the student, are you here today? And it is going to go under a topic. That's going to be daily attendance. I already made that topic. And no points are to be assigned. It's going to be graded. And let's see here, students can edit answers. I don't want that to happen for this assignment. You can do it for other assignments. Know that you have these other options in here. You can take off, students can reply to each other. You might not want that at all. It's up to you, okay? So I'm just gonna, I can come in here also and schedule different ones, and it won't post until, I can create all my questions, and it won't post until that day. So just go ahead and use the schedule also in there. I'm gonna go ahead and press ask. And you're gonna see that it's going to populate in there. And now it's the one that's ready. The rest are in draft because these were a copy from another, these were a repost. And so whenever you bring in a repost assignment from another class, it comes out as a draft until you're ready to edit it and make it assigned for the day. So I'm just going to put here, ask, and you're going to see that it's going to have the question mark. So I used, again, the question, create a question to make that question. Material is used for, let's say you're going to give them vocabulary and you are going to upload some anchor charts or get some things from your Google Drive. You are welcome to upload material from your, let me grab this one for now. I'm going to put some material from my reading assignments or something that I need them to do. And again, I'm coming into topic, and whatever topic it best fits. In this case, I'm going to put it under supporting materials, and then I'm going to post. Okay, can't attach this file. You don't have permission because that file belongs to someone else, but that's fine. Those are important things to note, like the settings that are in your files. Let me go ahead and get my own file. That one's mine. Insert and then post. So that was under materials. Now let's talk a little bit about creating assignments. When you create an assignment, you have your title, you have your options of your instructions. Notice that you can also put in, let's say, a YouTube video. You can put in several files. You don't have to just put it in one file at a time. Let's search for that. Go ahead and title it. And I give them the instructions, whatever. I can add another one. And this time it's going to be a link that they're going to practice with, and then maybe a file that I have on my computer. So you can do several things and you can add several things to it. I'm going to ignore that for now, but just know that you can do more than one. I guess let me put one more up just so you could see that you could see both. Let me put this one for now. Insert. Now there is a rubric builder in here that you can do. You can use a rubric or you could reuse something you've already created. I like to use RubyStar, and I don't remember if I have it on this one or not, but I've mentioned RubyStar before in my trainings. I'd like to create my own template for different rubrics that I have. Instead of building it in here, I just go ahead and upload a file as an attachment, and I don't use this rubric part. But if you wanted to, you can come in here and begin to build your rubric. You just put your title, and then you can put the score that it's going to be and the description that it's going to be needed. And then you just keep building it this way. So depending on the points you want to use and what you are doing, you can build it. And once you save it, like I said, you could reuse it if you want. So I'm just going to disregard it, but just know that that feature is available. For those of you that are going to be doing essays in the high school and you really need to check for plagiarism, and that's all across, right? You would put check for originality and continue. And so the students, it's going to know if it's got some comments from the internet or if it has like another student trying to post somebody else's work. Although Google Classroom doesn't really allow that, but checking for originality is kind of a better safeguard for you guys. And notice my class, this is dangling up here. I can move these things again. Everything is movable. So I'm going to move it to, it's not a journal response, it's just an assignment. I'm going to put it there. Okay, if I don't need something here, I can also, again, just kind of shift things around. Your Google Meets recordings should be posted in there. And what you can do, I'm going to open up this one just so you can see. What you can do is, if you want, you can place the week's worth. So I can say all the way up to 8/19. And then just make sure when you are finding your Google Meets recording that it's not named the way this one is named. Make sure you rename them and put them by dates. And that way the kids see, oh, that's the one I need to view for today, or the one that I missed. And your Meets recording are inside.
Ms. Guerrero.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
But I have a question.
Yes.
You know how the kids have the class folder. I mean, it shows up on the right there. You mentioned a little bit ago.
Yes.
Can the kids open that folder? Is it individual folders for each student, or is it just like
It's
one
only
big
theirs.
folder? Huh?
No, it's only theirs. It's their individual folder for their name, but
For their name.
And the teachers,
So,
everybody else's.
and they cannot access each other's work.
No, they should
Okay.
not be able to access each other's work. Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. And so again, in the drive, make sure you find your Meets folder, and I think it's called. What is it called? It's not called. Let me see. It would say Meets recording. So Meet recording. Make sure you all look for that And that way you can upload those for my blended learning classes. And again, like I was mentioning, rename them and add your week's worth. And that way the student knows to go do that. And again, it's you have to search Meet Recording for those of you that are new. A good question, the gentleman that asked that question. And like I said, at any point, please let me know if you have any questions so we can address them. All right, so it's fine where it's at, and it's for all students. One other thing, when you're creating an assignment, if you want to differentiate, and you do at a certain point, you want to give just to certain students that assignment, you select them, and then you post, okay? Especially for those classes that the special ed people that need to have like one Google Classroom, make sure you differentiate for the students. The other students won't see those assignments. Only you will see what you will see everybody's assignments, but they will see only what was sent to them. Okay. All right, so I don't have this one extension installed in here, and I would really like to showcase that one. There are a few that I want to talk about, so let me skip on over to that if I can at this point. So just to refresh, we went into the settings, we were able to rename. There's also these three little dots where you can archive classes. If you know you're not going to use a certain class, and let's say, for example, I have a math and a writing, but I want them both in one place. That is fine. It's got to populate both though, because of Skyward. And when we go into a regular school year, you want to use both. But in this case, if it's easier for you, you can post in one. That's fine. Just make sure you archive whatever you don't need. Also, teach your kids to move the tiles around. That will help the student. Let me just show you really quick what I mean by that. Okay, so if a student is going to be in block A, teachers, it's best to color code things so that your kids don't just see blue, blue, and then they get mixed up. So you can come inside the theme, and that one happened to be a Google Classroom I had animated, and I'm going to showcase that right now in a minute. But again, you can color code it, or you can customize it with your Bitmoji. And we do have a little video out there for you guys. It's really short and easy to do. It's with a Google add-on called Creator Studio. And Creator Studio will make a folder just like the Meets folder. And once you do it, it will store in there the GIF. And this add-on is actually inside of Google Classroom. I'm sorry, inside of Google Slide. Can I get into the add-on? No, I can't, not through here. Okay, there's a question. Because we won't be syncing grades, we can use one classroom for several subjects. Yes, but don't say I said that, okay? Yes, I mean, you can. I mean, it's you know, it might facilitate things, but when you are back in school, you don't want to. And I'm going to disclose why. At one point, when we are back in school, we're going to program it to where it auto syncs with Skyward. That is not done at the moment. It will be though, but not done. There's no plan for it, at least for the first semester. So just an FYI, I had to let you know about both, okay? Okay, let's see here. I'm not too sure why I can't see my screen too well. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you all about this customization as well. At one point, you know your settings, you can turn it on and off. Like I was saying, if you need to see more reference in the video, you can watch that video that's there. And here we go. Here we are where you can have some of these Bitmojis created, and we have a lot of Google Classrooms that are available for you. You can just click right here where it says customize your banner. We've made these for you. But if you want to start from scratch, and this is wrong, it's actually supposed to say 16.7. The Google Slide itself, you go to File, Page Setup, and set it up as 16.7 by 4.17. And so I'm just going to click on the samples that we already created for you. Oh, actually, that girl is teaching you how to do it. But we do have banners. Talks about the, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It talks about the extension right here. You're welcome to install the extension. FYI, make sure you create your Bitmoji with Laredo ISG account, because the Snap is blocked. It's filtered and it's blocked. So make sure you either create it on your phone in an app and don't use Snap, but use your Laredo ISD account, add the extension and sign in with your Laredo ISD account. And anytime you change it on the phone, it will change it up there. How to animate it, like I was mentioning, you can use that 4-minute video. And then we have a few fun banners already for you guys that you might want to start off with. You can just use these. And so what I did with the animation, I grabbed one and then I added, let me see if I can get to that one really quick. I grabbed one, I made copies of the same slide over and over, and then I inserted a Bitmoji on each one, changing its position. Let me see if I can find the one that I had. Okay, let's see this one. It's got to be this one. All right, so in here, you can see that several slides are the same background, and I just dragged my Bitmoji onto the next one and just moved it a little bit. And again, I used an add-on called Creator Studio, and there's about 12 sides all the way, and you can, if I present, you can kind of see all it's doing. And the add-on is called Creator Studio, and you would just create a GIF with it. I won't go through it. Like I said, in the training, we do have the video for it. Another great one to use is Canva. I love using Canva. They already have Google Classroom headers. And so I can just go Google Classroom headers and search for it. And I'm going to create a blank one. And over on the left-hand side, all the ones that they have pre-made will populate. And then from there, I can grab my Bitmoji and drag it in. So I could just click on the extension. And this is actually my friend's computer. And I came over here because I was like, no, I need to use a teacher computer. And if I can't drag it in, copy paste, okay? And I actually had to copy paste on that one. So right click, copy, and I'm gonna come on over here and paste. You can drag, okay, so it wants me to use my shortcuts. Fine, Canva and Seesaw need this shortcut. Huh. It's not really, okay, the shortcut would be Control V. Yeah, I'm trying that. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, not my computer. I'm on a Mac all the time and I just get very used to it. Okay, is there another question that I need to address? Christina, are we good?
So there's a little question that's saying if students log into Google Classroom, will they see all the classrooms or just their own? Like they're just concerned that they're going to see the other blocks and no.
They will see the other blocks. So what you want to teach them, thank you. What you want to teach them, again, I was mentioning the archive. I'm going to archive this class. The students might want to do the same thing, or you as a teacher. Once you archive the ones you don't want them to see, they won't see it. They will see everything, but if you archive what you don't need, they won't see it. And it's very simple to bring it back up. You just come all the way to the very bottom, archive classes, and look for the one you need to bring back up. And this one's gonna come back up. It's gonna be, the copy of this one is just gonna come back up. So
and another question, yes. They're not able to see other student work?
No, not the students. Teacher, yes. Teacher will open up grades. Teacher can even open up that one particular assignment. I'm just gonna open up this one. And when I open up this one, I mean, no one has it ready, but it's all assigned. I can see their work in progress. So if I open it, I can actually comment on their work before I returned it. And I mean comment, I'm going to talk about comment in a little bit. I mean comment within the Google Docs. If it was a PDF, no, the PDF, you can only send private comments or you can comment once you return the work to them. Now they can unsubmit their work and submit it back to you. That will be fine. But this is where you would see the students' work. Anything else? Google Classroom Suite is good extension for automated Google Meets attendance. Cool. Google Classroom Suite. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you for mentioning that. Let me go to that really quick. Let me install a few extensions just so that you can see that. All right, let me see here. It's on an actual other slide. So I'll go back, I promise. We will cover all of this in a minute, but I have a slide right here. I want you all to go, what slide is this, Chris? I want you to go to this slide and open up your Chrome extensions. And so this file, it's called Chrome extensions. He mentioned one. Here's another Meets one. You might want to give them a try. You might want to open it and see what the rating is on them. Always look at that. One thing I do want to disclose, only 70 people have rated this one, so it might not be that great. But what I do want to disclose is that sometimes oh, thank you for putting it there. Awesome. Some of these will work one day and the next day they'll start to not work that well. They'll start to be flaky. And the reason why is because the programs themselves have to update, like the one who created it, because Google and Chrome has updates and then it can't catch up with what they're doing. So they have to reprogram it. So just FYI, not everything works seamlessly, but we provided some that where some people were using it and it was working out really well. So we've got Nod. If you haven't used it before, it lets you do like an emoji, like when students want to raise their hand. Do you have Nod installed on yours, Chris?
No, I don't have that one, but I can get it right now.
It's okay, yeah. Let me see if I can. Yeah, if you can get it, I can show them where, but that's okay if you don't. Nod is a cool one. It's kind of like a raise your hand feature. There it is. You could see that the students are giving you a thumbs up or they're reacting to you. And just know that Meets is going to have a lot of updates coming up. There's going to be virtual backgrounds. There's going to be where you can mute the kids. But this does help with reactions for the students. So I like to use this one. It's a good one. And when you add it to your Chrome, you just press Add Chrome, add the extension. Don't be worried of it's going to go into your, so let me go back into Meet so that you could see it. Oops, not that one. This one right here. I just installed it on my friend's computer, but, and then I can click on it and run it. But okay, so if you see right here, I don't know if everybody could see, but my extensions are actually, so this little puzzle you see up here where the Chrome bar is at, take a look at it. Whatever you feel that you need a pin, please pin that. Like this one, I'm gonna go ahead and pin the Nod because right now I couldn't find it. I was like, wait, I can't find it. One that you're gonna use, you're gonna pin. If you wanna remove it, if you wanna uninstall it or unpin it, you can go to the 3 dots and remove them. So whenever I use that, I can see the reaction. Actually, if Chris installs it, we can see her reactions on there. Okay, let me move on. Dualist, that just does a dual monitor. Let's see here, if I click on it, and I'm not gonna do it right now, but you can do when the chat is also coming out in the screen, and then you have another tab open. So that splits your screen. So that one's a good one for that. Bitmoji, if you're interested in installing that, you can do that. The emoji keyboard that I was talking to you guys about earlier, which is this one, the Joy Pixel. You can install it with that one. The Google Meet Push Talk, that's like a little monkey. When you install it, you can use your space bar to unmute yourself. Because sometimes you're on a Meet and it's like, where can I get the video? Where can I get the camera? And you can't unmute yourself that quickly. So this one does the push talk. You use the space bar and it unmutes you. Tactic will do like a transcript. If you want to see the chat that everybody was saying that day, it will export a file of all the conversations you had. Chrome Cursor, let me see if my friend has it installed. She doesn't. I'll install it now. I think it's a fun one. I think it catches the student's attention. So when I hover, I can pick, see if it does it quickly. I can pick the one that I want. I'm gonna add this one. And Mine already has it. And you can always change out the ones that you want. Let me go into the puzzle to find it. It's this one, and I want to pin it. And then from here, I can do the switching. I can get my smiley face. Okay, let me see here. I can upload a cursor also. Let me just check that it changed my cursor. Let me go back into the training. I have a million tabs open. Okay, so it changed it to that one. Let me try to change it here. So yeah, you see how it is a happy face at one point. You can do that. So y'all can see the pizza. I can do holidays, whatever you guys would like to use. I'm just gonna go, that one's cute too. I'm gonna go with the hearts. All right, guys. There's also a Nearpod extension that you might want to use, and it kind of facilitates things like instead of bringing in your Nearpod through the assignment, it will come out as an extension as well. I've used that one. It's good. Let me go back over here. And so there's a few. The talk comment, let me put that one on there for sure. I did want to showcase it. I was like, okay, I need to show them this one because this one does make like a little voice recording of your assignment instructions, and it just helps out in the Google Classroom a lot. So allow all of those things to come in. You're welcome to visit and view the rest in a few minutes or on your own. I'm not going to cover all of them, but here are some that you can use for Google Classroom. Some of these are super neat. The Insert Learning is amazing. I won't install it, but if you get a chance, explore it. It's very easy to use. It lets you get a website and insert questions inside and insert some highlighted areas. And, you know, it just facilitates very, very well with your Google Classroom. I won't showcase it. It takes too long. Screencastify is amazing too. You want to record your videos to do that reteaching in there, or just so the students can go have the ability to reconnect with your instructions. You can do that. Edpuzzle is amazing. Google Translate. Let me check if she has it, but I'm going to go ahead and install it. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up right now, but what it does for your students that need the Google Classroom translated, you want to tell them to translate, to install it. And so that way, when I'm going to go here to my classroom, and I'm here, and let me go to the puzzle again. Google Translate, I'm going to pin you. Eventually, you might not want to have so many pinned, but let's see here. Let me translate this page to Spanish. Hopefully it kicks in. And it does like 2 sites, but the kid has to do it on their end. The student has to do it. Let me try again. I don't know why it wasn't working earlier. And I'm surprised because this one is a Google one. It's not a outside, but then maybe Google themselves haven't. There it is. Translate. I want Spanish, English. Translate this page. Should open up another one. It's just not working as flawlessly as it typically does, but it is a good one to have. And I know Google is having updates themselves. Just surprised they haven't updated that one. There's also an app. It's also an app called Google Translate, and the kids can translate their conversations in there or their work in there. It's beneficial to the students if you want them to use that. So let me see about this talk and the one that I just installed. All right, so I want to use it. I'm going to go to my classwork. I'm going to create a class assignment. And, ooh, I haven't seen it populate in there. No on. I don't want to share with anybody. I guess it's just trying. There is YouTube videos on some of these Chrome extensions. But what it does, and it's not coming out. Let me log out of the classroom and go back in. All right, I thought I closed a few of these. Okay, let me go back into Google Classroom. I don't see it, but it does work super well. I use it on my Mac. Oh, there it is. Yay. So it's populating in there. It's pretty cool. I'm going to open up the classwork and I'm going to create an assignment. And I'm just going to put the title in here and then I'm going to give instructions in here. But I am also going to use that feature. So I click it. It's starting to record myself. I give instructions to the students. I press the check mark and that comes out. You're just going to click OK. And after a little bit, it should populate. Let me see if I can add it in here. Try it one more time. So I'm just testing it out. Sometimes you have to copy this URL, but it typically works seamlessly in here. So I'm surprised that it didn't do that, but I'm just gonna hit this way. Okay, and I'm done. I'm gonna sign. And when you see it and the students view it, oh goodness, let me go back to the classwork. Let me press edit, classwork. And let me, oh, you see the voice note came out. So that's a good one to use, the talk and comment. Okay, moving on. Go back and review a few things. But you're welcome to look at all of those. Okay, so organize your topics. Make sure that, you know, it's something that's very important by weeks, by dates. You want to have your daily attendance. You want to have your curriculum calendar on there. Maybe your distance learning packets also. Your weekly assignments. Dates should be on the assignment title though. Topics should be organized and rearranged, and you saw how I moved up and down. Then the way I used some of these fancy fonts, they're actually websites and you can click on any of them. So let's say I'm going to just type, hold on a second, there's a lot of ads on here. So, okay, there it is. I can type up at the top right here under the example, Miss Guerrero Google Classroom. And then just like that other emoji feature, I can see which font I want to use. I can press copy and then I come into my classroom and I'm going to the settings and I can change the font. So notice it changes it. So those URLs that I listed, they're pretty cool. There's one that's actually like a logo maker, and I'm not sure that it can copy paste in there, but it's great to use like to spice up your slides presentations. You can select any one of these and it makes a logo and you just type the word that you want it to show and then you can download it. And then you can use it inside your presentations. They don't work seamlessly inside of Google Classroom, but they do work well. If I were to add it in here, the word awesome, it can. So here are some more emoji websites and extensions that you can install to spice up your Google Classroom. Okay, creating assignments. Remember to differentiate the assignments to meet your students' needs, to create interactive worksheets and sites. Sharing rights are very important in the worksheet. Make sure you make a copy for each student, and I'll show you that when we upload something. The creation of quizzes, you do want to use forms that's already on there, and you can use it within the app forms. Some of the people I follow do suggest to use the app. I think it's so that you can see all your forms generated inside of the app, all your quizzes. And then again, we want you to use the reuse post of assignments and the reminder questions of attendance. That's going to be very important. Again, you have that reference. We're going to go over now your rights when you're assigning an activity. If you want to get something from a PDF, that might be inside your distance learning. And there is a tutorial on it right here. So these steps might be like, oh, that's a lot of steps, but you can just view it. They're actually pretty simple. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to my Drive. And the first thing you want to do down here, you want to download the reading packet. So sixth grade reading packet, that's fine. I'm going to download it first. And then once it's downloaded, I want to open it. And actually, I want to make sure it's on the computer. So let me put it on my desktop and that it's not anywhere where. Okay, so let me come here. I hear the rain. Wow. Oh my gosh, it is pouring out there. You can rechange the size on here to where it's fitting. And then I'm going to snipping tool. Let me dismiss this really quick. So if you don't have your snipping tool, you want to look for it. And then once it comes out and you start using it, you can pin it. It's down here for me. And all I have to do is right click and pin it. Okay, right there it says unpin, but I've already have it pinned. So you might want to pin it. So I'm going to use my snipping tool. And I'm going to capture I'm going to have the whole items that I'm supposed to have. Okay, right now I didn't have all of the items that I wanted. I want to minimize the size until I capture everything. And so I do that, I save it. It's going to be on the computer and it's a PDF I want to upload. It's an interactive assignment. How are we doing on time, Chris?
About 15 minutes, a little over 15 minutes. It ends at 2:20.
It ends at 2:20. So I've got it's guys.
Yeah.
Pressure, no pressure. Okay. Here. Hold on a second. The wrong one. Okay. Oh wow. Let me see if I can open. Oh no, I can't find the tab. Great. Again, I'm on my friend's computer, so let me see if I can switch her out and go back into you guys. It might sign me out. You might have to finish the presentation, Chris, but it's okay. I'll keep trying. Let me see here. I can't go into my tab. Come around. Come around really quick and see if I can. If you no, I don't have my camera on. I really wanted to show hers. Where's my tab? These are all yours.
Those are all mine. Sign out at
No, it's right here. I found it. Okay, sorry. I'm not used to this computer. Again, I didn't have that Chrome tab accessibility that I needed to use. Okay, going back here, I'm going into my Google Classroom. I'm going to create an assignment. It's going to be my reading sixth grade assignment really quick. And I'm going to add it, and it is an item that is on my computer. Upload. You want to upload it, and we've listed all these steps for you. I know I put it here. Oh no, that's the full packet. Yeah, right, desktop. I don't want this one. Desktop. What did I name it? It wasn't the packet. It was something interactive.
PDF interactive.
Oh, I named it with a P. Okay, there it is. All right, open. And I'm uploading it. And so there it is. And the students can use the Kami feature to annotate on it. I'm going to press make a copy. That's very important because if I put it in the slides, which actually I should go back and put it in the slides, to be honest with you. Let me open up a slides. If I have it in the slides and I want to put my PDF assignments in here, I'm going to start off with setting up the page to be a portrait. So I got to customize it and stem size. I think it's 8.5 by 11. Okay, when I insert it in here, I want to delete these text boxes so they're not in the way. And actually the easiest way is to right click on here, apply layout, and get the blank one. So let me scroll down, blank, and it removes everything. Then I'm going to use background, and I'm going to choose an image that's on my computer, the screenshot. So I'm going to come here, and it was PDF, interactive. I'm going to open it, and it snaps it to the slide. And then from here, I can make text boxes for them or teach them to use the shapes to circle the multiple choice. If it's a fill in the blank, then this would be transparent. You can teach them or you can have them already made for you where they're going to drag and drop them over. Okay. And now that you're ready to post it into your Google Classroom, you want to open up your sharing rights. I hadn't named this really quick. You want to open up your sharing rights and you want to change this out to anyone in the district is fine. It's usually the Rado ISD, but they're going to have to be editors, okay? So that they can write off on that file. And also it's good for collaboration. But when you are in Google Classroom, you want to make sure to make a copy for the student. So that way each one doesn't modify each other. Now, if it's a collaborative work where you're having several students like we did in the blended learning, you could put students can edit this file. So many people are going to collaborate on that presentation or that document. But the traditional thing to do is to say make a copy so that each one gets a copy. Okay, so there's a difference between the two. You can refer to that. There's a lot of templates we provided here for you guys. If y'all haven't seen the Bitmoji classrooms, you may download them from here. You can open them up. There's a whole bunch of fun, engaging ones on there. Animating your PDF, annotating on your PDF, please use the Kami. On the iPad, you know that it has an annotation embedded, and so they can use the annotation off the iPad. I have a quiz video here. You might want to view it just so that you can see how your settings should be set up. That would be great for you all to use the Google Forms. Again, I'm referring to making a copy. Edit file is for collaborative work. For material and for resources, study guides, you would say view this file only. We talked about this already. We're using post, posting attendance, the gradebook view. When you are going to send them a comment, if you notice over here, the comment will not display to them until they return, until the teacher returns the work. If you comment on here, if you comment within the Google slide, as you see Ms. Sepulveda comment on the assignment, it will come out. There is a create a bank of comment feature now, and there's also, you can insert the audio as well in there. And just when the student receives their work, they can see what's within the document. But out here in Google Classroom, let me show that, guys, to you all really quick. Great. I don't have anybody who submitted anything, but let me just quickly showcase it. I'm not going to be able to. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try. So if I'm looking at the student's, yes, I can. So here I would grade it, whatever he got, and I can send him a private comment. I can use the comment here. This one creates a bank. And notice I had already made some, and I can create more, just words I'm typically going to say to them, and then I'm going to return the work. That's the only way the student will see it, okay, if you return the work. Now, within the document, if it was a Word, Google Docs or a slide, you can open up the document and comment in there, and that's their work in progress. So that's the last thing I wanted to mention, because comments are quite useful also. Use the stream to post any announcements, not classwork, please. Remember to hide it on your settings. Guardian features should be available, but make sure you use your Skyward class because otherwise you can't do it. Features and third-party apps we want to use. These are a few of them. Again, we talked about these. You can click on the extensions right there. And just things to remember: rename your class, archive old ones, organize them, organize your work by topics, take daily attendance, set up your Google Meet where the students could easily go in. Post your classwork inside of classwork and not in your stream. And then name your assignments by dates, just so the kids, it's easier for them to find it. We won't do the framing of the lesson. We're good. Does anybody have any questions before we end?
There was a question about Kami, whether if you know or not, it'll still be available because there was a 30-day trial in the summer.
It was actually a 60-day trial.
Oh, okay.
You can uninstall it and reinstall it, and it might help. We are looking into purchasing a few things, but we're thinking we might want to get Screencastify for teachers. And actually, we buy a district license, we might even get for students. So I know the talk was to possibly purchase, but I can't tell you, yes, it's going to be there because the budget's not even open yet. But good question. But there are annotating extensions also. I can't remember one right now, but if you Google annotation extension, that might work for you in the meantime if you can't get the Kami going. It's just that Kami has more features like the drawing and the saving and editing a PDF and things like that.
Okay, and then there was just another one about, do they wait until the Google Classrooms are uploaded to their personal accounts, or
Yes.
right, because they're not going to make their own?
Right. I would definitely wait. Be patient, guys. Hopefully by tomorrow. Now, you don't see anything by Thursday or Friday. I'm hoping, I don't want to say it, but I'm hoping you at least see your conduct and remember you can post in there, or you create something right now just to kind of organize yourself, and then use the reuse post under assignments. Like under create, you wouldn't click assignments, you would click the last button that says reuse post. Anything else? Good questions, guys. I hope you all enjoyed our training. I think we're pretty much done.